People may yawn and not express much excitement when they're asked to give to support the church's budget, or when they are asked to give to help pay off the church's debt. But people do get excited when they see that there is a connection between their giving and changed lives, particularly if those changed lives are in their own family, their own community, and in the world. In this video segment, we're going to focus upon the need to communicate the connection between the mission of the church and the congregation's giving. As we think about communicating the connection between giving and the mission of the church, let's focus on 4 things that might help us achieve that. One thing to consider is producing in your media presentations a slide that would help people make that connection. Here's an example. The slide might begin with these words: "This week, your giving enabled us to," and then you would fill in the blank each week with what the congregation's giving accomplished. Here's an example. "This week, your giving enabled our church to provide a vacation Bible school for 145 children, and 7 of those children received Christ as their Lord and Savior and will be baptized this next Sunday." That is an example of making that connection and communicating that connection between people's giving and the mission being accomplished in the church. A second thing to consider is placing a similar update in the bulletin. Again, it would be in written form, but this time in the bulletin: "This week your giving enabled us to," and then each week you could fill in the blank. "This week your giving enabled us to send a team of youth on a mission trip, and these were the things they accomplished. They were able to do a construction project, they did a backyard Bible club, and they were able to assist in a ministry center." Again, a way to make that connection between giving and the mission of the church. The third thing to think about is the possibility of including these connection statements in your giving statements. Many churches send out a giving statement annually, but I would encourage you to consider sending out quarterly giving statements. And not only including in that giving statement the amount that that person has given weekly during that quarter, but I would encourage you to include in that letter at least 1 to 2 pages summarizing what the congregation's giving enabled the church to accomplish within that quarter. Again, it could be the similar statements that we mentioned earlier. "This quarter, your giving enabled us to be able to offer a vacation Bible school and see children taught about the love of God and see children saved." But include those in your giving statements. And then the fourth thing to consider is to include in your worship services some testimonies that would help make that connection. A great way to do this would be to invite an international missionary or a North American missionary to come and share in your worship service. They may share in the preaching time, but they may also be asked to share a testimony prior to the preaching time. But it's a great way to help people see that our giving, particularly as we give through the cooperative program, and we support some 5,000 plus international missionaries and over 5,000 North American missionaries. This is the way that we're seeing lives changed through their ministries. So invite a missionary to share a testimony. Another great testimony to have in a worship service is a testimony from a new believer. Perhaps a new believer their life was impacted through a Celebrate Recovery ministry. And you could either capture that testimony on a video and show that video clip in your service, or you could have the actual person share verbally in person their own testimony. But there's something powerful about hearing how lives are being changed through the ministry of our church and realizing that there was a connection between our giving and what God did to change this life. So in summary, some of the resources that will help you achieve communicating the connection between mission and giving are the use of PowerPoint or media presentation slides, updates in the bulletin, an update in your giving statements, and also utilizing testimonies. For more information or assistance with this subject of connecting mission and giving, contact the Church Development Team office at the number on the screen, or visit us on the website at www.kybaptist.org. Thank you.